Stephen, what did you make of performance in Canberra?
Yeah, it's probably a game we want to put behind us, that one. Yeah, not a good one.
There's now been 3 losses in a row, and against Sydney and against Brisbane, there were long passages where the team played quite well but weren't able to get rewarded for it. After 3 disappointing results in a row, what have you said to the squad in terms of what needs to change in order to get those results?
We've conceded 9 goals in the 4 games, so that's the first area of concern that we have to address, definitely. And the manner in which we're conceding them as well, we have to fix that quickly.
Is there a bit of a mental piece around it as well? Obviously, we've spoken a bit previously about conceding multiple goals from restarts in play. Is there something? Do you think that's kind of impacting some of the goals which have gone in, irrespective of the time periods?
I think so. How to address that's a tricky one. So it's just we've got to address each piece one at a time, and hopefully they start to have an impact on our competency in defending.
There's a good mix of youth and experience. Are you kind of leaning on the experience to upskill the youth, maybe in terms of the concentration aspect?
I think losing Dalton last week was really tricky for us, particularly a day before we travelled. So that was tough. I think. I don't think we adapted to that as well as we possibly could have. We also made quite a few changes, and they obviously didn't bear the fruit that we were looking for. So, if you look at the 3 games prior to that, there were really good elements in all of those, and we showed a lot of our characteristics and the principles that we want to play with. But I feel like, with the exception of maybe 10 minutes after the second goal that they scored, I don't think we showed our true character in that game, and that's probably the disappointing part of it.
How is Izzy? Is she going to be part of the plans this weekend?
No, unfortunately, she's not going to be part of the plans this week. We're hoping that she can be part of the Wellington game.
We just heard from Georgia Cassidy. She seems quite positive in her recovery from a hamstring issue. Is that a sign that she's going to play some part this week?
Yeah, we're hoping so. She's on track. She was close last week, but we're hoping that she'll play a part this week. So that's very optimistic for us, and she obviously gives everyone a buzz around her as well.
What are you expecting from Melbourne Victory? They've gone through, I guess, many iterations of that team and that squad, but the one constant is that they're always really hard to beat.
I think running into a Victory team coming off a loss is never going to be a good thing for you. You're going to have to be ready to go to war, essentially. I think Jeff's going to have them chewing glass, so to speak. I think we're going to be in for it, and we've got to be ready for it. I think if we are, we can really get into the tussle with them. And
a 3rd consecutive away game in a row. How are you? You mentioned a bit previously about trying to factor in travel, maybe fly a bit earlier, approach away games differently. But when you're going back and forwards 3 weeks in a row, how tough is it to, acclimatise, get back into a flow of things at training, and then go back into match day mode?
It's extremely tough for the girls, but we don't want to make that an excuse in a larger sense. It has been difficult for them. Last week you could see physically we definitely weren't the same side, which was disappointing. I thought Canberra were physically superior to us, and I thought Canberra's mentality was better than ours, which we kind of knew going into that game, seeing as though they hadn't got a win yet. And then if you look at Canberra's draw, they got 3 very tough teams coming up, so they obviously circled that game as a tough one, and then unfortunately we fell into that trap essentially.